So we are doing the reading questions today first, just for a change. Let's see how you do your reading questions, because we always do the reading writing ones first. So today we will be doing reading questions, then reorders, and then reading writing. So be quick, 2 minutes only for your reading questions, and then post your answers, and we will have a discussion. Okay, let's discuss. 2 minutes are over. Anybody left to post the answer? Okay, so the answers for this one are: researchers from Chalmers University of Technology have dashed a structural battery. So we'll have comes V3, third form of verb. Let's see how many third forms we have conducted and produced. The sentence says researchers have dashed a battery that performs 10 times dash than all previous versions. So they have made a battery. Conducted is not making, but produce is more related to making. So we'll say they have produced a battery that performs 10 times dash than. Whenever you have TH, and than, we always use V2, second form of verb in that case. So what second form of verb we have is only one, which is better. And better is the second form of good. So good is the first form, better is the second form, and best is the third one. So best is third, good is one, and better is second. And second forms of verbs are always used in comparison sentences with than. So it performs better than all previous versions. Each dash carbon fiber that serves simultaneously as an electrode, conductor, and load-bearing material. So we have two options: it contains or it consists, but out of the two, they almost have similar meaning, but consists come with of, consists of. We don't have of here. So it's better to go with contains. It contains this carbon fiber which serves a dual purpose. Their latest research paves the dash. The sentence actually is complete, so let's see if any additional information is required. Their latest research, something that matches with research breakthrough. Research breakthrough is a collocation. Breakthrough simply means invention. The latest research invention. The latest research innovation. So that is the meaning of breakthrough, means whatever new they have found out is called breakthrough. Their latest research breakthrough paves the way is a collocation. Those who did not know it, you can please note it down. Paves the way is a collocation. These three words come together, and the meaning of paves the way is to make it easier for the next thing to happen. So this research makes it easier for essentially massless energy storage in vehicles and other technology. So this will be helpful for this particular thing. That is the meaning of paves the way. So these are the answers. The first one with have comes third form. We had two options, but according to context, we are making a battery, so we'll go with produced. Second form of verb, because of the word 𝗙 and than always comes with V2, and we only had one V2, which was better. Number 3, with consists, we need of, which we don't have here, so it's better to go with contains. And research breakthrough means research invention, research innovation. Anything breakthrough is a very wide word. And paves the way because it's a collocation. Right? Any doubts anybody has, you can please ask. Rather is used when you give when you say no to something, and like you can say it works as a conductor, rather insulator. Rather means not as an insulator. Then you use the word rather to say no to something basically. Any doubts or queries, anybody? Any confusions? Conducted, we don't need a verb here because paves is already the verb. Two verbs cannot come together, Renuka. So verb is already present, so we did not need a verb. So if you only read the latest research conducted, yes, it will make sense. But when you read the complete sentence, the latest research conducted paves the way. So we don't need conducted because paves is a verb already. Okay, so here you have question number 2. 2 minutes for this and post your answers, please. Okay, shall we start the discussion? Very well done. Read the complete sentences. Those who are not doing it, you are developing a wrong habit for yourself. This is going to go very bad in the exam. King had won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, and his high profile would help draw international dash to Selma during the eventful months that followed. And with the word draw, we generally use two nouns, draw attention or draw recognition. Both the words, both the nouns go with draw. Draw attention is to get somebody's attention. So here they are saying his higher profile would help get international attention, to help get the people all over the world to give their attention to this particular place, Selma, during the eventful months that followed. So it was attention. Yes, we do have attention here. During the eventful months that followed, on February 18, white segregationists attacked a group of dash demonstrators. So if you read the sentences complete, someone attacked a group of demonstrators in the nearby town of Marion. So what kind of demonstrators they were? We can have brutal or peaceful. So both of them can be the answers, but the answer is peaceful because you need the word brutal. But till here you could have shortlisted both of them and kept it here and see if we can finalize one out of the two in any other blank, then it will be easier. So this is how you should be doing. So there were peaceful protesters in the nearby town of Marion. In the ensuing chaos, an Alabama state trooper finally shot a person in dash to Jackson's death. So someone died, and in dash to Jackson, his death. So in response to is a collocation again. In response to means as a reaction to, as an answer to something. So in response to Jackson's death, King and the SCLC planned a massive protest march from Selma to the capital. And then a group of 600 people set out on Sunday, March 7, but didn't get far before Alabama state troopers, wielding whips, nightsticks, and tear gas, rushed the group at this bridge and beat them back to Selma. The dash scene was captured on television. So beating up people using tear gas, this would be very dreadful, means very negative thing. So what can we use? This kind of scene can be called brutal. Brutal is a negative word that we have here. So this brutal scene was captured on television, enraging many Americans and dash civil rights and religious leaders to all faiths to Selma. And what is Selma? Selma is a place. What form of verb they have used? They have used ing form of verb. Enraging Americans and dash leaders to Selma. And those of you who have selected replying leaders to Selma, does it make sense? Replying people to Australia. Does it make sense, right? Selma is a place. So we can go with drawing people to Selma. Drawing means again getting the attention of people towards something. So drawing people is kind of pushing them, but in a positive way, that you should be helping us. So that is drawing civil rights and religious leaders. So if you have matched your word just in civil rights, that is a mistake. You have to see what is civil rights. So it was drawing these and these leaders to displace Selma in protest. So these were the reasons for the answers. The first one we draw. We used draw attention or draw recognition. So we had attention there. The second, they attacked a group of peaceful demonstrators. Even if you fill it at the end, you will be left with only one word that can explain what kind of people were they. They were peaceful demonstrators. Peaceful demonstrators is like they were protesting, but in a peaceful way. They were not brawling on the streets, or they were not doing any damage to any property or anything. They were silently sitting in protest. So that is called peaceful demonstrators. And they attacked those people, and as a response it's called in response to something, means as your reaction to what happened. So in response to the death of this person, they planned a protest. So this was brutal because people were being attacked, they were using tear gas. So the brutal scene was captured on television. And then they used ing form of verb, enraging Americans and dash leaders to Selma. So pushing leaders to Selma or drawing attracting readers to 𝗙𝗲. That is the meaning of drawing here, because we cannot say replying people to 𝗙𝗲. That doesn't make sense. Right? Any doubts, anybody? Any questions? Is it fine with everyone? Okay, then. So we have question number 3, and you have 2 minutes for this. Please post your answers once you have done. Alright, should be done by now. What is the meaning of water is considered up nearly 3/4? What sense is it making? Water is considered up nearly 3/4. So what was the first answer? Water dash up nearly 3/4. It is water makes up. We are just talking about a proportion that 3/4 of the earth is covered with water. So it will be water makes up 3/4 of the earth's surface. Some of you have done forms also. Forms does not go with up, that's one thing. And if we use forms with water, water forms up. Forms will be water does something which leads to 3/4 of earth's surface. Forms will be a process of making. So water is not making the earth's surface. We are just saying that water in 3/4 of the earth's surface is water. So water is not doing anything in that. So water makes up means this is the quantity of water that we have on the earth's surface. But it does not, but it does more than just cover our planet. It also plays a role in shaping it. So we generally have a pivotal role, main role, major role, vital role. So something out of that we do have vital. These words commonly go with the word role. So it plays a vital role means an extremely important role in shaping it. Consider the Grand Canyon, measuring 277 miles long, 18 miles wide, and more than 1 mile deep. It dash one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. So it means the Grand Canyon. So here we can say we have it is considered or it considers. So it considers will mean the Grand Canyon considers something else, but it is not possible. So we'll say Grand Canyon is considered, means we consider it as one of the 7 wonders. So it is considered one of the 7 natural wonders of the world and attracts more than 5 million visitors per year. This geological dash was created by the waters of the Colorado River through the processes of weathering and erosion. So this dash, we need a singular noun here. This is used for singular nouns. So this geological, what is a singular noun we had? We had only one noun which was marble. So even if you did not know the meaning, you could have selected it based on we don't even have any other option for a noun. So this geological marvel, and marvel means wonder, means something really nice and good, which is different, unique. So this geological marvel means this geological wonder was created by the waters of this river. Weathering is the process by which moving water breaks down soil, rock, and minerals, and erosion is the process by which the flowing water transports soil and rock. The two processes often occur in dash. So we have together and we have in conjunction. If we want to put together, then we don't need in. So we can say the two processes often occur together. But there is no use of in that case. We do have in, so it's better to go with in conjunction, which also means together only. So you can note it down. The meaning of in conjunction is together. So it can be possible that sometimes they give you in conjunction and together as the options. Then you can select accordingly if you know the meanings. So these are the answers. The first one, water makes up, means we're just saying that 3/4 of the earth is made up of water. That's it. It plays a vital role, very important role in shaping it. Then it means Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is considered because we consider it. So Grand Canyon is considered one of the 7 natural wonders. This comes with a singular noun and we only have one noun given in the option, which is marvel. And the last one, in conjunction, which means together only, but we cannot put together because in is already written, so we should go with in conjunction. Right? Any questions, anyone? After it, S form comes. Yeah, so it is also singular. It is wrong to write 𝗙𝗏. It is a good place. Is it wrong? So after it comes a verb with S, but if you need a verb, right? If I want to say it is good, it was bad, then helping verbs are always possible. Fourth one is with this. This means this what? So this geological dash, this geological wonder, we need a noun and there's only one noun that we have. In last blank, we are not considering singular plural. In last blank, we are selecting out of together and conjunction. With in, we cannot put together, so that is why we are putting conjunction. We didn't say anything for singular plural in the last blank. No Prinjal, we cannot say it is considered as because it is not considered as all the 7 wonders. It is one of the 7 wonders, so we don't need as in that case. It is considered one of the seven wonders. If you say as, then you can only write what it is considered. Then we cannot use the word seven wonders there. Alright. In conjunction, yes. In conjunction are two words which go together. Even there's a third one. In conjunction with is also the combination of three words that go together sometimes. Important is not the second answer based on academic strength. When two words mean the same, you have to select the one which is academically strong, and vital is a better academic way of saying important. That is why we have selected vital and not important. And also, can we write important with a? Don't we need an in that case? It is grammatically wrong to write vowels with a. Right, anybody else here? Any question? Okay, all good. So here you have your question number 4, 2 minutes for this, and then share your answers, please. Very good. Try to focus on understanding the writing styles also. Sometimes what does a comma at this place shows what, why there's a comma here, why normally not a comma there. These things help you to get your right answers. This is, do you play video games? If so, you aren't alone. Video games are becoming more dash and are increasingly enjoyed by adults. In present tense, we are saying this. The video games are becoming more dash, and all of you are right in selecting common here. They are becoming more common and are increasingly enjoyed by adults. Are increasingly means in present tense, and increasingly means more and more number of people are enjoying, and more number of adults are enjoying video games nowadays. The average age of gamers, and some of you have selected had risen here. What sense does it make to select had? What is the meaning of had? Something that happened in the past. It is not at all happening now. It started and has finished already sometime in the past is the meaning of had. If you selected had because of that they used was here, then you have to realize that there is a comma before and. It is not without comma. If you put a comma before and, then the two parts are completely different. They can talk about extremely different things. They have no connection with each other. Means we don't have to justify those rules. But if the comma is not there, then the things before and after and have to stay in the same sense. So here a comma tells us that we don't have to follow this. The average age of gamers has been increasing because the whole previous two sentences were saying this thing only. That more number of adults are enjoying video games means obviously the age earlier it was estimated to be 35. The people up till 35 years were there, but now maybe the older people are also being encouraged or they're enjoying playing video games. So the average age of gamers has been increasing. Changing technology also means that more people are exposed to video games. Many committed players play on desktop computers or dash. So where else can we play video games? It's easy. Consoles, video game consoles we generally have where we can play. But a new breed of casual gamers has emerged who play on smartphones and tablets at spare moments dash today. So spare moments whenever they get spare time. So whenever they get spare time can be throughout the day, not a particular time. Throughout means any time basically. It can be morning, evening, afternoon, night, any time that they get. So you have to say throughout the day, like their morning commute. So we know that video games are an increasingly common form of entertainment. But do they have any dash on our brains and behavior? So we have effect, and some of you have written effects. Please make a note. This is a very common blank that comes in the exam. Effect is a verb, and the one with E is a noun. And after have, like we generally say, what effect does it have? You cannot say what effect does it have because effect is used as a verb, like global warming affects us. Affects means it has an impact on us. And effect means what are the effects of global warming. So effects is a noun. So here what will come will be, but do they have any effect on our brain? Do they have anything on our brain? A noun is required, a verb is not required here. So it will be, number 5 will be effect. So these are the answers. The first one, common, everybody is correct because the whole context was trying to say that more number of people, more number of adults are now enjoying video games. That means the age is increasing, which is a present tense scenario. So had has nothing to do with singular or plural. Had comes both with singular as well as plural. It just signifies past tense. Even if it is singular option or singular noun or plural noun, had is same for both of them. So this will be the average age of gamers has been increasing because of the context was saying that it is presently happening. It has nothing to do with was because of the comma before and. and then we play on computers or consoles, and throughout the day, whenever people get time, throughout the day means any time of the day. And the last one is we needed a noun, not a verb. That is why the answer will be effect. Right, so these are the answers. Now you can put your doubts. We are not using has with gamers so much. So you always have to select your helping verb based on the noun of the sentence. And noun of the sentence is the word written before of. Not any word of the sentence is not your noun. The word written before of is the noun. And in this sentence, the noun was age, not gamers. So whatever has, have, had, you have to select. You have to select based on age, not gamers. Consoles are those. How to describe consoles? The game. You have anyone who can describe console? Gaming consoles. We get those remotes to play, and we can play on. What to explain? We don't need a verb in the last blank, Pinky. Have is the only thing we need. Do you? If I say, do you have any lunchbox? Question mark. Do we need a verb there? So we don't need a verb because have is food. We just want to say, what do you have? So have is the verb and the helping verb both in that case. Any gadget basically. A console is the gadget on which you play. Had is used in past tense. Can use between if we would have movements, dash the rings. No, because between is used for just two things. If it is more than two, they will give us some other option. It's better to say throughout because that's why we are using throughout. Between is just for two things, whereas throughout is any time possible. So between cannot count in that case. Widely has more to do with the application. Widely has nothing to do with the type of people. Widely would be area-wise. So that's why we're not going with widely in the first sentence. And moreover, if we say more widely, that means it was already very wide and now it is becoming more wide. But wide is more used in terms of area. Amit, the same thing that I explained, please listen carefully to the explanations. I said we have to select the helping verb has, have, and had based on the noun of the sentence. And noun is the word which is written before of. So noun of this sentence is age, noun of this sentence is not gamers. So you have to select your has, have based on age, not gamers. And this based on this rule, you get 3 to 4 blanks in the exam as well. Right? So guys, when we are having the explanation, we have the explanation 2 times. Make sure that both the times you are listening and understanding. You are not just marking right or wrong that once she will finish, then I'll ask my doubt. No, all of your doubts are being explained. You have to listen during the explanation. And after that, you can ask if there is something that we did not discuss. Because this way, we won't be able to complete the test otherwise. Okay, the next question, the last one for reading blanks for today. 2 minutes for this and then post your answers, please. Alright, should be done. Well done. A lot of you have done it well. This says erosion is a natural process and it is often beneficial for the planet. Dash excessive erosion can cause major problems. So the first word with a comma means we need a connector. We have two connectors with capitals thus and however. Both of them have very different meanings. So if the sentences are opposite to each other, one positive and one negative, we go with however, and this is the case. Previous sentence is talking about benefit and the next one is talking about problems. So we will go with however. Excessive erosion can cause major problems. Dash desertification and the ecological collapse of entire areas. So these were the examples of the problems. So whenever we give examples after a comma, we generally write using the word including, means these are the possible examples. If we don't put a comma, then we generally say this can cause major problems like, we don't need a comma in that case. If we say this can cause major problems such as, we don't need a comma in that case. But if we don't use like or such as, then we put a comma and say including this. So we give the examples in that case. If erosion happens at a pace faster than the land can regenerate itself, this can dash the land desert life. So with can comes with the modals come first form of verb. Can, may, would, should, everything comes with first form of verb. How many first forms we have? We have cause and render. So if you put cause, it says this can cause the land desert life. It is a bit incomplete. It should be it can cause the land to become desert-like, then it becomes complete with cause. That is why we cannot go with cause and we should go with render. The meaning of render is the same. Cause to become is the meaning of render. There are actually two meanings of render. If we use render with services, then the meaning of render is to provide. This organization renders accountancy services. So renders means provides. The other meaning of render is this, cause to become, or in very easy language you can think of make. This can make the land desert-like. So that will make it more clear. And incapable of dash life, after of we use ing form of verb. Incapable of, and what do we have in ing was only one option, incapable of supporting life. Believe it or not, soil is actually a valuable and non-renewable resource. As it contains nutrients and minerals crucial for agricultural productivity, it takes thousands and thousands of years to build up enough soil in a region for the land to be productive. But erosion can wear it away much faster than that. Dash at the rate it has been occurring in recent decades. So the sentence was complete and then they highlighted one particular fact that they said erosion is much faster and especially at the rate that it is happening recently. This is the way we highlight one particular aspect out of a general scenario. So erosion is faster, it is general, but we want to highlight what is the most fast rate. So it is especially the recent rate is very, very fast. Over the past 40 years, the world has lost 30% of its agriculturally productive land dash of erosion. So erosion is the reason. So when we have a reason, we go with as a result of this. And after as a result of, we always put the reason. So it should be as a result of erosion, we have lost 30% of the agriculturally productive land. And any other thing was not even possible. We were left with only basically, and basically of doesn't make sense. So these are the answers. The first one is however. There were only two options, thus and however, and we were going opposite, so we go with however. The second one is a way of writing examples. We generally say like, such as, or including. If there is a comma, we go with including. This can make the land. Make means render. After of, we use ing form of verb, so incapable of supporting life. Then they say erosion is much faster, especially at this rate. So this is a way of highlighting one particular aspect. And last, we have lost land because of erosion. But we don't have because, we have as a result of, which is used in the same context. So we can say as a result of erosion, we have lost 30% of the land. Right? Any confusions? Still anybody? After of, we use ing form of verb hagar. That's what I said. See, if you have any particular thing going in your head, unless and until you will write it, I won't understand. If you say second blank, I will think of the same thing repeating. So you can ask that in second blank, I did not understand this thing, or whatever doubt you have. So that you need to ask. So after of, if you need a verb, you always go with ing form of verb. When there is and, we not use including. What else do we use? So there must be another option that we have in that case. And I must have given a difference between including and the other option. Because here, it's not about including and any other option. Right? Okay, those who just want repetitions, those who are online students, the classes are uploaded on your portals. After we finish, they stay there on your portal for 24 hours. So if you just want repetitions, because you are new to the class, I think, and you need the explanations, you need more time to for the explanation. So you can just go back to the recordings wherever you have doubts, and you can replay and listen to like the use of however, because we won't be able to do it more than 3 times in the class. So you can, but this is possible that sometimes you have certain doubts. You can just go back to the classes and the videos for the recorded sessions, and you can play back whatever doubts you have, right? And those who are our students on the Facebook, you can always access the Facebook recorded videos. Okay, the first question for reorders is on the screen, and you have 2 minutes to solve this. Please post your answers, and then we will have a discussion. Okay, let's first have a look at the hints that you should have noticed. Ancient Mesopotamia is considered the cradle of civilization, and the cities of ancient Mesopotamia were located. So here we are talking about this particular place. It may seem at first glance that California and the ancient land of Mesopotamia have very little in common. So here we are talking about both the things, and it's a very general statement, not giving any facts, just saying that these two places they seem like they don't have anything much in common. They have very little in common. In spite of these differences, so before this sentence, we have to talk about the differences only, then we can say these differences, because these is a reference to something that we have already talked about. And they say ancient Mesopotamia first became home to an economic power. So this is again talking about this place. California, on the other hand. So on the other hand, it's very important, means before this we should have talked about the other side, means the other place, and then we can talk about California. So it was pretty easy. I was expecting a good answer. The first sentence is B, in which we are introducing both the things, and it may seem that they both do not have anything in common. And then you start explaining one by one. First, we are explaining Mesopotamia because California has on the other hand. We cannot start with on the other hand before giving the first hand. So ancient Mesopotamia is considered the cradle of civilization, and the cities of this were located in modern day Iraq. We also have one more sentence about the same place, Mesopotamia. So it will be ancient Mesopotamia first became home to an economic power in 3100 BC. And then we will make a comparison. On the other hand, California did not achieve status as an economic power. So why is A coming second and D coming third? Both the sentences were about Mesopotamia, but because the continuation is with economic power, so they both have to come together. And once we talk about the differences, only then we can say these differences. These means the above mentioned. In the previous above sentences, we have talked about differences, and then we can say these mentioned differences. So the words which are important for reorders, this, that, these, those. On the other hand, one hand, firstly, and just you have to understand what is a general statement. So this is the answer. I hope it's clear now. So here you have your question number 2 for reorders, and you have 2 minutes to solve this. Please post your answers. Very good. This is done pretty well. So the first sentence was, what is a pterosaur? So we very general question we had, and then there was a next question which directly had a relation. It says it sounds like such a simple question. So obviously it will come right after the question. That it sounds means this sounds like a simple question. And then they have a continuation of this, but the answer was by no means obvious. Means the question is simple, but the answer was not simple. So we have to justify the use of the conjunction but here. But means we have to go opposite. So we say question is simple, but the answer was by no means obvious means simple. When the first pterosaur skeleton was discovered in the mid 1700s in this limestone quarry in Germany. And then there were two sentences which were giving information. One started with early observers theorized, and then debates raged. Debates raged means debates happened on this. So we'll go with early observers first, that the first persons who observed this, what was their theory on that. So early observers theorized that specimens long, skinny arm and finger bones were for swimming, or was it some kind of tooth-clawed winged bird? And then after debates raged even after 1801, when the French anatomist Georges Cuvier analyzed drawings of the skeleton and determined the animal to be something new to science. So these people, they have the specimen, and whereas after so many years they just analyzed the drawings. So this was easy, and I am looking at a lot of correct answers. So very well done. So even I think this was the hint was also here when they say in 1700s, and here it is 1801. So first we'll go with early observers because 1800 is not early to the finding. So that could also be a hint that we have to go with early observers and then something that happened in 1801. Right? I hope it is clear now, and a good attempt by a lot of you. And we have the third and the last question for reorders for today. 2 minutes for this, and then post your answers, please. All right. Good with the first pair. Almost all of you have put it correct. But even after that should have been correct because it was going in the same order. Most of the times the subject rule is being followed, which you must have learned in your strategy classes. The object becoming the subject. So this was being followed here. Human beings hear sounds constantly. Sounds was the object here. Now it is becoming the subject. Sounds are the result of vibrations. And then again the object becoming the subject. When an object vibrates means you introduce vibrations and then you're explaining. When an object vibrates, it sets off a chain reaction of events that might end up inside a person's ear. And then what type of vibrations we have depending on how strong or soft the vibrations are, the sound's volume and tone will vary. So all these things happen, and what happens in the end is eventually a human's ears hear the vibrations. So it was, we hear the sounds. Where do sounds come from? They come from vibrations. What type of vibrations? So where do vibrations come from? Vibrations come from the object. And then there are two types, strong and soft vibrations. And whatever it is, it eventually comes to the human's ears. Some of you have got the whole thing correct because it was like a process going on. But I can see that most of you have at least got one pair or rather two pairs correct. C, B is correct for most of you, and E, D or D, A is correct for most of you. But anyhow, this is the right answer. So in your reorders, for your reorders, please make sure that the rules that are being taught in the strategy classes, they seem very theoretical when we attend the strategy classes. We feel too much theory in them, but they actually practically work. They have a huge practical application when you actually solve your reorders. So keep revising them. Try to apply them when you are solving your reorders. And also at the same time, there are two videos, rather three videos of reorders on YouTube, which explains the concepts, different important words that are useful for solving reorders, that can serve as hints when solving reorders. So those who are new, those who haven't watched those videos, you can just go to the YouTube and search Language Academy reorder videos, and you'll get three different parts, and you can spare some time to watch them one by one and keep making notes of what all things are being discussed important. They'll help you to improve your marks in reorders by at least 20, 30, 40%. No, if D is the correct answer and if you put ED, we will not get marks, unfortunately. The sequence has to be correct for the pair to be correct. Okay. All right, so we are left with reading writing blanks for today, and this is your first question. You have 2.5 minutes for this. Please post your answers once you are done. Alright, should be done. Let's discuss the answers. Very good with the first one. So psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior according to the American Psychological Association. Psychology is a discipline and includes many subfields of study such as all these fields. So it includes so many fields, we had just had to find a word which says the same thing. So it is what kind of discipline? Extraordinary, different, features, or multifaceted. So based on the sentence, we go with multifaceted because they're saying it has multiple fields into it. It is a multifaceted discipline and includes so many different fields. So that is the meaning of multifaceted, including different fields. If you want to say features is not an adjective, it's a noun. We needed what kind of discipline it is. It is a different discipline, doesn't make sense. They are not elaborating on why it is different. And extraordinary is more used to praise something like extraordinary performance or excellent performance. So we are not praising psychology, rather we are giving some crucial information about psychology. Then the second one says psychology is really a very new science with most advances dash over the past 150 years or so. What we have in the options. So in this case, it is a form of science. And most advances means the advancement, the changes, the new things. With most advances dash over, most advances taken over. Take over is used in business context when one business buys the other business, that is take over or taken over. Most advances happening over, and when we use over, we refer to a time period that things were happening all this time. So all this time means in continuous tense we need the answer. So most advances happening over the past 150 years because they did not happen in 1 year in the last 150 years. They kept on happening one after the other over this time period. So with most advances occurring could have been fine, but occurrence is the noun form. We don't need a noun here. And advances, placing is keeping. We were not keeping the advances anywhere. So that is why the answer is the advances happening over because they were happening one after the other all the years, one in a continuous form. However, its origins can be dashed back to ancient Greece. So traced back is a collocation whenever we try to say where something started in history. So we say traced back to this time, traced back to this place, traced back to this period of time. So traced back is a collocation used to denote that. In the dash days of psychology, there were two theoretical perspectives. So in the early, previous, latest, or formerly, the sentence is in past tense. So we cannot say latest. It has to be past. Previous does not denote past. Previous can be just the previous class, the previous lecture. So it's not something in the ancient kind of thing. But yes, early days we use when we want to say something in past, like we say early man. So we want to refer to the earliest form when a human being started to live on earth. So we say early days reference as past time. There were two theoretical perspectives. The sentence is complete, so we need what kind of theoretical perspectives they were. Necessary is not, we don't know they were necessary or not because it's the past story, so we cannot have knowledge about it. There were two main perspectives, it's fine. Dominant and main are the same, are having the same meaning here. But dominant is more academic, so we should go with dominant over main because main is a general word. So that is why dominant. And dominated is a verb form. We don't need verb here. We need adjective. That what kind of theoretical perspectives it will be. They were very dominant perspectives, very main perspectives, major perspectives is what dominant can mean here. Right? So we have to go with the first answer, what kind of discipline based on the sentence. They were trying to put a lot of different fields into psychology. So that is why the answer is multifaceted, means it has different fields in it. The second one, we need the ing form because the sentence structure wanted to say that things were happening for 150 years, not in 1 year. Every year something, or maybe if not every year, over these many years, things were happening. So that is why ing form. Traced back is a collocation. Early days, again, is kind of a collocation. Early days, when we want to refer to past, we use early days. And the last one, what kind of perspectives? We can say main or dominant. Dominant is more academic. They were necessary or not, there is no information about that. So it will be too assumptuous thing to select necessary here. So you can ask your questions if you have any. No, because multifaceted is not a verb. If you want to match with and with includes, include is a verb. So you can only match a verb with a verb. You cannot match an adjective form with a verb form. So multifaceted is an adjective here, not verb. So same thing, Vijaya. The second sentence wanted to say that things were happening for 150 years, and 150 years means in continuously things were happening. Like you can say, I was studying for 2 years. You cannot say I was studying for 2 years. Studying because it happened continuously. That is why we need ing form here. All right. Anybody else? Anything that we did not talk about and you have a confusion? Okay, so here we have question number 2. You have 2.5 minutes to solve this. Please post your answers. Okay, is everybody done? Okay, let's check the answers. It says prior to European settlement in North America, Native American tribes dash specific areas of the continent. So this is something of the past that they are talking about. So prior to means before European settlement came there, Native American tribes dash specific areas. So they were living in specific areas. So we can say these tribes lived, but we need lived in. Populated specific areas is fine. Captivate is present tense, we don't need. And with focus, we need focused on. So we don't have on, we don't have in. Captivate is present tense, so we should go with populated because we don't need any other word to put populated here. So American tribes populated specific areas of the continent. Their cultures, food, traditions, and beliefs were dashed up in their environment. So with word we need ed form, something that goes with up. Word soaking up, soaking goes with soaking in, like soaking in the sun, taking in something is called soaking in. Word lit up is fire. We cannot use the culture, food, and traditions word lit up. Wrapped up or grown up, so culture cannot be grown. We have to go with wrapped up. This is a bit unusual meaning of wrapped up here. Wrapped up is completely involved in that area. Here it can mean that their cultures, food, traditions, and beliefs were completely involved in their environment, that they had everything, their own culture, their food, their traditions, and their beliefs. They were only interested in those things. Plain Indians, for instance, hunted buffalo and used the entire animal for food, clothing, shelter, kitchen goods, and other important materials. Dash, it is believed that Native Americans dashed in battles between tribes prior to European settlement. It's a long sentence starting with the first word as a blank. We have a comma here, and then we have the other side to the story. Whenever the sentence is a long one with a comma in between, that means having two parts, one before the comma and one after the comma. And in the options we have connectors, then we always have to understand the relationship between those two parts. Here, one side they are saying Native Americans dash in battles, which is a negative thing to fight or to have battle with somebody. After the comma, they say the presence of Europeans helped on conflict and circumstances. That is a positive statement. So whenever one side is positive, one side is negative. No audio. You're having audio problem, all of you. Is it fine now? Okay. So whenever there is a sentence which has, thank you. Whenever there is a sentence which has a comma in between and it has two parts, one positive and one negative, then if you have a blank in the beginning, we have to start with though or even though or although. So what we have in the options is, yes, we do have though. So though means though it is negative, comma, it is positive also. So only this much you need to understand to put although, even though, or though. One side positive and after the comma negative, or one side negative after the comma positive. Anyway is fine. So it says, though it is believed that the Americans dash in battles. So we need past tense again, something that goes with in. People, Americans would be people. So can we say Americans mixed in battles? So people cannot mix in the battle. Concerned goes with concerned about. Engaged comes with engaged in. And linked comes with linked to. So what we have here is in, and that is why the answer will be people were engaged in battles between the tribes. The presence of the Europeans helped spawn conflicts and circumstances that would impact the lives of Native Americans across the continent. The sentence is absolutely complete. Whenever the sentence is complete and after the blank we have a verb that would impact the lives, we should go for adverb here, something that comes with ly. that would simply impact or that would dramatically impact. Simply, but they are talking about something um, a big thing, that the presence of Europeans helped spawn conflicts and circumstances that would simply impact doesn't make sense. That would have a big impact on the lives of people. So big impact would be dramatically impact at a large scale, at a big scale. So huge impact can be said as dramatically impact. So these are the answers. The first one is populated, because to put populated we don't need anything like lived in or focused on. Captivate is present tense, which does not match with the context. Second, wrapped up is a collocation, which means they're completely involved in something. That is called wrapped up. Bit unusual here, but that's the only meaning I could find out of wrapped up. Third, whenever there is a sentence which has one positive and one negative side with a comma in between, you always go with though, even though, or although. There's no difference between although and though. If they are equal, so you can select anyone. Means they won't give you together to select between them, but if they are both in the option, go with although. It's better than though. And even though is the best version from these three. And then Americans, people dash in battle. So with in, we will select people engaged in battles, because with mixed, it is contextually wrong. Linked comes with to, and concerned comes with concerned about. And the fourth one, the last one, how will the lives change? The lives will change dramatically. New people coming in will have a dramatic impact. So that cannot be simply. That will dramatically impact the lives of the other people across the continent. Because Nisha, we don't have although in the options. That is why we are not selecting although. We only have though, yet, even, and altogether. Right, any other question, anyone? Okay, yet, the meaning of yet, if you want to use yet anywhere, you can just put but still. If but still fits, then you have to put yet in that case. So wherever but still fits, you can put yet. And even is used for comparison. For example, you can say, I called her, I even texted her. So even is to emphasize more on something further that you have already done. Like I texted, I even called. Even is the second thing I did. That is the use of even. So yet has nothing to do with positive, negative thing. Like I explained, the use of though, although has to do with positive and negative. But yet has none of that. Yet is used when we want to say but still. It's raining, yet I'll go to the party. Means, but still I'll go to the party. So yes, we do have these classes Monday to Thursday at the same time, 4 days in a week, just we. Okay, question number 3, and you have 2.5 minutes to solve this. No problem. Please put your answers in the chat box. All right, let's discuss the answers. So here the first sentence says a transistor's ability to dash the flow of electricity has made possible our entire computerized world. So with two comes first form of verb, the basic grammar rule that we always have to remember. First form of verb, and what is the sentence saying? A transistor's ability to dash the flow of electricity. So a transistor, what is the ability of a transistor? To keep the flow of electricity, to cannot come with ed form, so it is not possible. A transistor's ability to control electricity or a transistor's ability to track electricity. I can see a lot of you have written track there. Track is just to check. Check in the sense that, for example, we track people, track the location. So we just follow. That's it. We don't do anything. So a transistor is there just to follow the flow of electricity, and just by following it has made the computerized world possible. Computerized world is possible because things are in control. The flow of electricity is controlled. It is not an uneven flow of electricity, sometimes very good, sometimes very poor. Then things are not possible. So a transistor's ability is to control the flow of electricity, because just by tracking, we cannot make a computerized world with us that we have. So it has made possible our entire computerized world. All computers depend on the binary system to convert electric signals dash useful information. So with the word convert, we always use the preposition into, and that's right, convert into, because when you change one thing into another thing, then we always use into in that case. So it takes the electric signals and it converts the signals into information. When the form is being changed, then we use the preposition into in that case. So electric signals are converted into useful information. If we use with, that means together. So it converts electric signals and useful information together. And the meaning of against is negative, and across is used in terms of area. Where is the answer of across, or place is the answer of across. And then they say the binary system has only two numbers, 1 and 0. When a transistor allows electricity to flow dash, it registers a 1. When the transistor stops the flow, it registers 0. So when the transistor allows the electricity to flow within, flow through, inside, or between. To flow through is the answer. Flow through means pass, when it does not stop it. So flow through means it passes, that is 1. And if it stops, it is 0. So flow through is kind of collocation to say pass. And then they say millions or billions of those ones and zeros. So we should not read the comma to comma part to make the sentence shorter. We can always eliminate the comma to comma or hyphen to hyphen part to make the sentence compact or shorter. Millions or billions of those ones and zeros dash your computer to do everything it does. So what is the answer? Making, allowing, permits, or enable. So what is the noun? Noun is plural. Millions or billions of ones and zeros. So we cannot put s with the verb. We need a verb without s. And ing is not possible because it is grammatically wrong. Millions or billions of ones and zeros making your computer. No, then you have to say are making your computer if you want to put ing, or are allowing your computer, but we don't have are, so we cannot put ing. We have to go with these ones and zeros enable your computer to do everything it does, from allowing you to do this to dash you type up a school science project. So from comes with ing, so to should also come with ing. This is called matching the verbs. If they have used ing form of verb, we also have to use ing form of verb. So from allowing to write is not possible, authorize is not possible. To making you type a science report, or to letting you type. So letting you is the answer. Computer does not make us type. Computer lets us, means provides us the facility to type. So that providing facility is called letting us type. Okay, so these are the answers. The first one is transistor's ability. Ability is a very big word. It should be doing something, really doing something at least. Tracking is not doing. Tracking is just keeping a check on what's happening. So a transistor's ability to control electricity has made the computerized world possible. All computers, they depend on system that convert always goes with into. Whenever the form changes from one thing, changes from one form, and the result is something else, that is always connected with into. Then when a transistor allows electricity to pass means to flow through, it is 1. If it stops, means does not allows to pass through, it is called 0. And then we can eliminate the comma to comma part to understand the sentence. Millions of ones and zeros allow us, enable us, anything in first form is right, but we have only one option. Enable your computer to do everything it does from ing to ing. So this is matching verbs. So out of the two ings that we have, computer cannot make us type, computer can let us type. Let here means providing the infrastructure, providing the facility that we can do our work on it. So that is letting us type. So these are the answers. Now you can ask your doubts if you have any. So just frame the sentence, Arshdeep. Millions of zeros dash your computer. Millions of zeros making your computer. Millions of zeros are making your computer. We need helping verb if you want to put our ing in the fourth blank. Anyone else, any question here? All good with rest of you? Thank you, Vijaya. And here you have the question number 4 for your reading writing blanks, and you have 2.5 minutes to solve this, and then post your answers, please. Okay, sorry, there's one option wrong here. We can do the other one by that time. Do the 5th one, sorry. Okay, let's check the answers. Modern technology can do some pretty dash things, pretty good things. It's a good sentence. So we can say incredible things. Usual would be very common word, then why are they explaining if it is a usual thing? So we'll say incredible things, and all of you have get this correct. It is possible with current technological capabilities to transmit digital information over long distances using coding and decoding processes, dash losing the contents of the original information. So again, they're explaining that with new technology, we can use coding and decoding to give the information without losing any content, means without getting anything lost. So without losing the contents of original information. This is also well done. The best part is that we don't have to do anything, dash sending the message and waiting for it to be received. So if you read the sentence without looking at the options, the first thing that will come is the best part is we don't have to do anything apart from this. Apart from means except this. So what is the word that can mean apart from is besides. Besides also is used in the same way like apart from. So this is the answer. Some of you have written rather than. No, rather than cannot be the answer because rather than is used when you, for example, if I say a sentence, I like tea rather than coffee. So rather than comes when you have a thing which you don't do written after. But here we have to send the message and we have to wait. So we have to do these things. So rather than cannot come here. So it will be apart from means you only have to do this thing, nothing else. That is apart from. Consider, for instance, the cellular phone. It wasn't dash the early 1980s that this mobile variation on the standard telephone was even available. So whenever we have a time period, we say this until word goes with time period. It wasn't until. Until means before this it was not possible. It wasn't until the early 1980s that this mobile variation on the telephone was even available for people to use. Now it seems like everyone has a cell phone sending and receiving information in speedy ways dash to the human eye. So we are sending a message which we cannot even see that how is it going or how is it traveling. So it is invisible to the human eye that the way of sending our message is invisible. We don't even see how it goes. We cannot see the messenger who's taking it. So that is called the way is invisible to the human eye. So these are the answers. The first one is incredible thing. Second is without losing any